Hey team, Mike here from the Retail Leadership Lab. Let's spend a little bit of time today unpacking what a great interview looks like, the things that you should and should not do during an interview. So let's start with number one. Number one, you should come very well prepared with 3 tremendous stories. You should be able to tell a story about yourself in which you were very successful, like where you just knocked a ball out of the park, where you had incredible results. And you should be able to work that story from like start to finish using the STAR format: situation, task, action, results. So this was where you're working, the situation you're in, the role you were playing. This was the task or the goal that you were chasing. These are the actions that you took, and this is the outcome, like situation, task, action, result. And that's on your wild success story. Number 2, you should be able and willing to tell a failure story, a story where you suffered a career setback and things did not go as expected. Again, putting that in the situation, task, action, and result format, taking the person who is interviewing you through the entire story. And then number 3, you should have a purple cow story, that thing that makes you really unique. Think of it as the thing that makes you stand out. Back in the days of paper resumes, we used to say, don't print your resume on white paper, print it on colored paper, print it on a cardstock, so that when it's sitting in a thick pile, yours stands out. This is your chance to do that. So assume always that you are competing for the role and that the person doing the interviews is doing several interviews, and you need to stand out. This is your chance to provide something that nobody else would, that's unique with you. How do you come with these 3 stories? Well, I always advise people to keep a very active career inventory. So at the end of every day, the same way that we should journal, we should have a journal for our career so that we can capture those highlights and those setbacks, so that we're building this career inventory. So when we interview, whether we're interviewing internally with the same company or we're interviewing externally, like we're prepared, and we have these 3 stories on dial, on lock, that at any point in time, like you could be pulled off a sales floor somewhere and said, hey, we've identified you, we'd love to talk to you about the next role, like why do you think you're a great fit? You've got these 3 stories in your back pocket, you're ready to go, and you can tell them that wild success story, that failure or vulnerability story, that purple cow story. You can tell all 3 stories: situation, task, action, result, like you can tell them with great detail. So that's the first part. Like having the stories and being able to tell the stories in the right way is really impactful. Then number 2, like listen very well, because the person who's interviewing you, they want you to succeed. Like they 100% have approached you. Either they've called you, they've set up the interview, they pulled you off a Salesforce somewhere, they've emailed you back, they've responded in some way. Like they want to find a talented person. They are not out to disqualify you, they're out to qualify you. So they're going to lead you to water. They're going to tell you and provide you clues as to what success looks like. So number 1, you got your 3 stories on lock and you're prepared to tell them in detail, STAR format. Number 2, you're going to listen really, really well for clues. Number 3, it's like memory match. It's that memory match game that we played when we were kids, where we turned the one card over and you remembered where that card was so you could match it later. So having these 3 stories as you work yourself into an interview, you're really listening, because you're like, where's the opportunity to share these stories? Because the interviewer may not ask the question directly, like, tell me a time when you had a failure story. Tell me about your most unique story. So you will listen and you will reframe. So for example, if somebody says, like, tell me about a time when you made a huge impact at work. Awesome. That's your success story, right? That's your wild success story. Tell me about a time when things didn't go as you expected. Tell me about a time when you had a setback. Tell me about a time when you had to be coached on something. Like your failure story can match so many different questions if you're listening intently. Like that number 3, that purple cow story, right? Like, so tell me about a time when you really stood out, when you did something different, when you were unique, when you went against the grain. Like they're going to provide you a chance to answer all 3 of those questions. Average interview is going to go 5 to 7 questions. So if you know that you've come into the game with 3 big home runs, that like you're going to play to the next round, or you're going to get the job. Like that's just how it's going to go. Like come with those 3 big swings, like in your back pocket at all times. Say, okay, cool. So we're moving through the process here. So like So what should you like not do? One of the biggest turnoffs in any interview, speaking from somebody who's done over 10,000 interviews and hired thousands of people, is what I would tell you is I do not appreciate when somebody speaks in hypotheticals. Like if you haven't done a thing, just tell me you haven't done a thing. Or tell me I haven't done that exact thing, but I've done something similar, and then take me through situation, task, action, result. Take me through STAR on why the thing that you've done that is similar enough that I should listen. And then finally, you always need to make sure that you're telling the stories, answering the questions in a way that meets these three criteria, that it's digestible. So the person you're speaking to understands it, is on the same page, that it's impactful, that you're able to tell the story in a way to where the interviewer or the panel can hear what you're saying and like see your stamp on it, like your impact, like what you did. And then finally relatable. So can they take like your stamp, what you did, and relate it to the opening that they have? Like we always tell employees to act like you've been there before, team members to act like you've been there before. So the same thing for people who are interviewing, like act like you've already had the job before. And one of the best ways you can do that is to go in there prepared. So like you usually know a day or two in advance, like you have an interview with a company, go learn about that company, right? Do some research, go out there on the internet, go to AI, go to LinkedIn, learn about the company, learn about the leaders. I'm not telling you to turn into like a full-on Facebook stalker of the person who's going to interview you, but do some due diligence, put some work in. And then don't like be so quick to like, don't say like, hey, look at me, like I did some work. Like no, just let it come up naturally. Like be patient. Allow it to come up. Allow like it to come to like, it's like you're holding a couple big plays in your back pocket. Like don't throw all your aces out on the table right away. Like be willing to wait, be patient with them. So listen intently, respond accordingly. Like, and then there's all the obvious stuff, right? Like if you are less than 15 minutes early, you are late. Be dressed appropriately to match the audience that you're speaking to. So if you're applying for a construction job, don't go in a suit. And if you're applying for an accounting job, don't go in boots and jeans. Like match your audience. Like your job is to make the person doing the interviews feel comfortable. And the way that you do that is that you match their intensity, you match their look, you match their thing. Some people call it mirroring. Another great tactic that you can do is like when the interview is set, if the interview is set like an email, like you have an email exchange, you can ask the person like, hey, this is a top job for me, so I just want to make sure that I have the best chance to succeed. Like, what would you advise me to do? You ask that question, a lot of times they're going to give you the answer. They're going to tell you like, hey, show up dressed to impress. This is what that means. Show up at this time, show up at this place. Like they will give you all the answers. Because again, like back to the beginning of this video, like they want to see you succeed. So like those would be like, that would be my advice. Like my advice, like have those three stories on lock. Like be able to tell them in a way that is digestible, impactful, and relatable. Follow the STAR format: situation, task, action, and result. And then mirror the interviewer's intensity and dress code and all of those things. You do those things, you're going to give yourself a really, really good shot. And all on the way, leading to this point, like you're making those journal entries, you're keeping that great career inventory. So I just want to see you land that next big role. Because like I really believe in the dignity of hiring and the dignity of work and the dignity of development. So let's keep getting after it out there. And I love hearing your success stories. Thanks for sharing. Bye-bye now.